Hi. I have to see myself, but I can't see Jody. Jody's a lot prettier than me.
Aw, Jody's prettier than everybody. But anyways, I thought that was your coup dance. You were doing your military coup. Yeah.
They took my Bibles! They took my Bibles! They came to my door to give me a vaccine and took away my Bibles! Madison Concord! That this would happen! But fortunately, I'm a Trump voter, so I don't read my Bible. I just tell people I own one.
Let me ask you a serious question. Do they really think you're coming to take their Bible and their gun if they come to tell you where a vaccine's available?
These are the people, Stephanie, who think that China deliberately unleashed COVID-19 on the world because China's evil plan was to spend 50 years building the world's greatest economic powerhouse and then destroy it all.
Right.
That's what they believe. So yes, they'll believe anything.
And kill all their own people first. Yes, that makes sense. Okay. You tweeted the MAGA creed, the pandemic scare is a hoax. 2, Trump deserves all the credit for any vaccine. 3, and a vaccine must be called the Trump vaccine. 4, there is no way I'm taking that damn vaccine.
That's right.
It is already just a cognitive disconnect. You're right on all of it. It makes no sense. Dr. Redlener yesterday wrote a piece that I could barely about how Biden needs to ask Trump for his help and to do a PSA with him, and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't know, what is like your prison relief? What is it, Jody? As terms of your sentencing, something. I just can't.
Well, I mean, look, here's the thing, right? Like, Trump could do one PSA. He could do one commercial saying, I got a vaccine with my wife, Melania, and you should get one too. He could do that. And he could own the libs so bad if he did that and take away so much of our ammo. But he's too stupid to realize that would help himself because the Republican Party has a brilliant plan. They hate democracy, Stephanie. You know this, right? They hate democracy so much, they're willing to kill off their own voters. And that's the plan.
Well,
that is the plan.
Yes, you are my personal comedy Jesus. And as you know, Chris Lavoie is a satanic atheist who wants people that aren't vaccinated to hurry up and die.
That doesn't work.
But here's the problem, is what we're talking about this morning, John, is that it's not just yourself. This is like we just have a mask mandate back in place in LA. Like it's not they're not just harming themselves, the unvaccinated. They're causing this surge in the Delta variant. We're going to be back to shutdowns in a minute, right?
You are. And by the way, it's secondhand smoke on steroids.
Exactly.
And that's why, look, nothing against atheists. Some of the best Christians I know are atheists, all right? And some of the most godless heathens I know are believers. But I can't get off on this whole let the Trumpers die. Because first off, it's not all Trumpers. Some of it's just poor people who aren't getting the information.
There's people I love that aren't vaccinated, that aren't Trumpers.
Here's the problem. We have the burden of having to be the good guy. Remember, Chris? Liberals have to be the X-Men. We have to fight for the people who are afraid of us.
Chris is not with you.
They think we're mutants, but we're just really evolved. And being the good guy sucks. So, we have to, the best case scenario is that this thing ends and we can't use this against Trump, right? But, the ignorance is staggering. And, the same people who are demanding we call it the Trump vaccine won't get the vaccine because of Trump. And Trump got it, and his wife got it, and they wouldn't allow themselves to be photographed. And don't forget, we were told. He didn't announce it. We were told. So Trump could do this. He doesn't need Joe Biden to ask him. He could just record a PSA right now, and he could save hundreds of thousands of lives, but he's too dumb to realize that would help. Donald Trump could have put Merrick Garland on the Supreme Court day one and shut us all up for a year. He's too dumb to help himself.
Can I just say one thing though?
Yes.
I always say people who refuse to get the vaccine
can go ahead and die. Not people who can't get the vaccine.
Right, there's a difference.
Yes, I understand.
But people who
but again, the ones who, but saying they can go ahead and die, they can still spread it to other people.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It is already affecting all of us.
Yeah.
It is not just there being, it's like Dr. Redlener said, it's like a drunk driver. You are not just affecting you if you're not vaccinated. I mean, yes, by the way, could I have the tiniest of violins? You are really going to challenge us, John, to be our own personal comedy Jesuses. It was revealed Trump was so ill.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And Mark Meadows was asking staff to pray for him. At the hospital, Trump grabbed his small overnight bag and carried it inside. But he had been so weakened, the president dropped the bag after a few feet. When it fell to the floor, doctors, aides, law enforcement officers around Trump all seemed to take a step back. It appeared as if they were nervous about his infection and didn't want to touch his belongings.
Wow.
But at that moment, Mark Meadows stepped forward, picked it up, and carried it into his room. That's when I knew you were my guy, Trump later said to him. Isn't that touching?
Because you carried my bag like Pataki carried Giuliani's jacket on 9/11.
Yeah.
It's true. He was really sick. Donald Trump was so sick that day, his own syphilis had a GoFundMe. That's how.
So, John, Tucker Carlson in February said there's no evidence that white supremacists were responsible for what happened on January 6th. This is Marshall Cohen tweeted, "This was always a lie. Look at who pled guilty today. Michael Curzio, who was in a neo-Nazi prison gang and still has swastika tats." And you said, you tweeted, Michael Curzio shot a guy in the chest, jailed for attempted murder, joined a violent prison gang, is covered in Nazi ink, joined the 1/6 terrorist attack on the U.S. Capitol, was just released for time served, $500 fine. Now imagine he wasn't white. Welcome to critical race theory.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Every right-winger who read that got tricked into understanding critical race theory. You're becoming a Marxist now. You're becoming a Marxist right now. It's already inside you. The virus is airborne. Can you imagine a black man in jail for attempted murder, joins a violent gang, and then does this terrorist attack on the Capitol, and they let him off with a slap on the wrist? I mean, wow, man. Being an ignorant white guy, that's a good gig. I'll tell you.
Yeah. John, what was your reaction to all this reporting? General Milley, and I don't even know where to start. Starting with Trump saying Hitler did some good things, to General Milley saying this was almost our Reichstag moment. I mean, there has got to be consequences for this.
There's got to be. I've been saying for a while, who knew that that Barack Obama was the Weimar Republic? It's terribly scary. And all this happened the same weekend. Just coincidentally, they took down the Robert E. Lee statue in Charlottesville, which I think is connected beautifully. And I love that. That was like porn for moral people. The very fact is that Milley said these things, and Donald Trump put out a press release berating the highest ranking military officer in the U.S. Armed Forces, because that's what real men who are draft dodgers do. And the Pentagon just had no comment. They didn't deny it. They had no comment. Look, when the guy's ex-wife says he kept a copy of Mein Kampf on his bed table, and the guy's ex-chief of staff said he praised Hitler, and he can't stop talking about how German he is, just maybe, folks.
Yeah.
Lean in and have your own Reichstag moment. But again, the armed forces.
Germans forget it. He's rolling.
Yeah.
The unsung hero is the U.S. military, because they had a plan. They weren't going to all resign at once. They were going to resign a different top-ranking general every single day to keep it in the headlines. Yeah. So thank you, U.S. military, for protecting us from enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah.
The greatest threat, it's not the foreign terrorists, it's the domestic imbeciles.
Yeah.
Yes, but I believe attempted coup, Jody, for your law and order degree, is a crime of some sort.
It
Isn't
is,
it? Even
yes,
an attempted coup? Okay.
It absolutely is, yes.
John, no one is better at the game.
Wheel of right-wing hypocrites!
Who should we start with? You said Lady G, Lindsey Graham supporting homophobia is like chickens supporting Chick-fil-A. That is the war. That is the hill that he is going to die on, is Chick-fil-A.
That is the hill. Yes. He finally found a war he'd enlist in. And it's nice that Lindsey Graham has finally found a war that he'll fight in instead of wanting to send your kids to fight in. And it's Lindsey Graham for homophobia.
Yes.
That's terrific, because Lindsey Graham has turned me into a homophobe. So well done. Well done.
If you don't know what this is about, he devoted a tweet thread to defending Chick-fil-A after students at Notre Dame wrote a letter opposing a proposed Chick-fil-A on their campus because of their anti-LGBT stance. Lindsay, could I have some Ken Burns Civil War music, please? I want everyone in South Carolina across America to know I have Chick-fil-A's back.
Why are you pushing him up?
Don't you giggle like that. Don't you get
Why are
what
you
you meant by
pushing him
that.
up?
He
doesn't sound that rugged.
He is right behind them. Is their back.
As close as he can be.
Right, as close as he can be.
Right, allegedly.
I hope we don't have to, but I will go to war for the principles that Chick-fil-A stands for. Great food, great service, great values. God bless Chick-fil-A. We have taken Arby's. I will write home again. All right, I just improv that.
Arby's?
We have taken Arby's. We're holding the line. We've taken Arby's.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like the old question, what's the difference between sodomy and Chick-fil-A? One involves having nasty things in your colon, and one's sodomy.
You also, speaking in round 2 of... Yes,
of right-wing hypocrites!
You tweeted, Ken Starr went from impeaching a president for fellatio to performing fellatio on an impeached president. Yes, and now we find out that he had an extramarital affair.
Yeah.
Wow, what do you know? Yeah, it's almost like their entire operation is built on hypocrisy. I mean, you know, and this is what I'm scared about, is that ultimately they are the Republicans who've had their, like, find me, you know, like I like to say, find me one white person the GOP has locked up for voting, right?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to lock up all these Democrats for protecting the right to vote. And they've locked up a black woman who voted and didn't know it wasn't allowed.
Yes.
They lock up a black man, okay? But I'm also playing this game, find me a millionaire who's against vaccines. Because all these right-wing Republicans are rich. They've had their vaccines, but they're playing, you know, the Tucker game. Well, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions about this vaccine. You know, Tucker got jabbed right away.
Of course.
Yeah.
Rupert Murdoch got his shots before the Queen of England got her shots.
Yes.
And every day Rupert pays his little winged monkey to come out and say, I'm just asking questions here. So it's like, why are they doing it? Like, it's just got to be, they are so against the recovery. They are so against Biden saving the economy that they're willing to kill a few thousand of their own people. Yeah. Just to slow it down. And if that means they lose a few thousand voters, well, they've got laws on the books to make sure a few thousand more don't get to vote.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what was I going to ask you? Oh, I'm sorry, I got lost. Oh, okay. Speaking of the Civil War.
The beauty of Jody, it's blinding.
I know, right? Well, I don't know if you call it a shock poll. I'm not actually shocked. 2 in 3 Southern Republicans want to secede from the United States. 66% of Republicans in Southern states want to secede from the United States. I mean,
yeah.
John, what has
they should have to prove they can spell the word first. They should have to, like, it's like nuclear. If you can't pronounce it, you can't have it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, here's what we're going to do. We're going to let them secede. We're going to give them a big chunk of Mississippi and Alabama. They're going to allow to have their own nation called Whitetopia. And it's pure libertarianism. They get all the drugs they want, all the freedom they want, all the guns they want. Donald Trump will be named ruler for life. All we ask is that we're allowed to set up cameras. And we set up cameras all over the place. And in 3 months, we turn the cameras on. And we put it on pay-per-view, and we pay for healthcare for ourselves and the rest of the hemisphere because everyone's going to watch. It's like all the Lokis trying to kill each other at once. They're going to go down there, and it's going to be once they've taken their own country, we will finally build that wall along our southern border.
Exactly.
Yeah. John, I always love the peeks into your childhood. You were raised by 2 clergy members, correct? Yes. And you said I could describe my childhood as sexually repressed, except that I'm still not comfortable with the word sexual.
That kind of sums it up. Yeah. That kind of sums it up.
And yet, here you are, a full-grown sexy liberal. And right? Sanity Cast on Sexy Liberal Podcast Network.
Yes, Sanity Cast is returning, by the way. I'm sorry for the delay. It's coming back. We've had some technical difficulties, but it is coming back.
And, of course, his own fantastic show right here on Sirius XM Progress. Love you. Miss you.
Yeah, I just want to say, tonight on my show, I got John Nichols from The Nation. Danny Trejo is going to be on my show tonight, and Ziggy Marley. It's going to be a great Friday. And remember something. Texas Democrats only left Texas because Texas Republicans have left America.
Thank you. John.